Snake mites are a pain in your butt, and there's a few ways we can get rid of them. So today I'm going to teach you a couple of those ways, and we're going to make sure that the mites are completely gone before we introduce them to the rest of your collection. I'm Adam, this is Wiccan's Wicked Reptiles. Stick around. About a month ago, you seen a video that we did about how to get rid of snake mites because I brought home 2 snakes that I noticed had mites and I had to get rid of them before I could introduce them to my collection. Now we're 5 weeks later, which is a little bit of overkill, but we're going to go ahead and make sure that the mites are completely gone before we introduce them to the rest of the collection. So here's how we do that. I've got them up in quarantine, up in the top here, so I got to take them down. The first video, which you can watch right here, I suggest watching if you've got ball pythons or boa constrictors or any type of snake or lizard that isn't super sensitive to permethrin. So let's go ahead and open them up. Let's see how they look. I put them on white paper towel, and the reason that I did that is to make sure that you can see the black dots, which are the dead mites or the live mites in the worst case scenario. Flutie, be quiet. So let's open them up and let's figure out if we're ready to go. So this is Peter, and Peter, he's a spider morph and Spider-Man, therefore he's Peter. He's got a little bit of a water dish in there, and he's got some poop because he did eat a few days ago. So he is eating again, which is fantastic. This is Peter. He looks like he's good. So Peter is going to go into a new enclosure just like this, just for 1 day with white paper towel to make sure that there's no mites that are on him or any eggs. Because the egg cycle for mites is about 3 weeks, and we've done the spraying a few times now, which you can see in the first video I pointed earlier, we know that he should be good to go, but you want to make sure, so put him on something that's white, and then check the next day to see if there's anything black in there. Inspect him, of course, to make sure that there's no residue of permethrin on him. We're going to put him into a little bit of a bath, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So we're going to give him a bath. We're going to do the same thing with Persephone on the bottom here, and then we're going to put them into their enclosures, and then we'll come back tomorrow and see how they're doing. A few things you're going to need: a temperature gun to make sure that the water is of appropriate temperature, because you don't want to freeze these guys and you don't want to burn them. So keep your water right around 82 degrees, something like that, where it's going to be in the temperature range that ball pythons or whatever it is that you are trying to get rid of mites on, whatever animal it is, lives in, right? So temperature gun, and you need a tub of some sort. So what we're going to use is just a 41 quart tub that I've cleaned because I don't want to clean my entire bathtub, and you want to make sure whatever it is doesn't have residues of soaps and shampoos and stuff. So let's go ahead and fill up the water. So you want your water to be somewhere right around 85 to 90, 82 the lowest. So we're pretty much dead on here, no matter where you go. Just kind of scan it all the way around, and you're good to go, right? So this is Persephone, and you know she's got a little bit of a swollen midsection there because she did eat. We finally got her eating. She was very underweight. We mentioned that in the first video. So let's go ahead and get her into the water, and then we've got her enclosure set up so that we can put her on a brand new paper towel as well. So basically, the snake is not going to hold its head underwater. You don't have to worry about it drowning. As long as you give it enough space to have its head out of the water, it's going to be all right. And they can swim pretty good as long as the water temperature is what they want. You can tell she doesn't want to be in the water, but she's not freaking out. One thing you might have happen to you is, especially if they've eaten recently, is you might have them poop in the water. That's pretty normal. We're going to see if she does that, but as you can see, she's actually pretty cool with the water. She doesn't really mind being there. It's the perfect temperature for her, and she can obviously tell she can get out. Pretty buoyant, too. So the idea is you want to make sure that she's completely submerged, like not her head, but her body, so that you can get all the debris off of her. Just right off the top, you'd probably notice right away if there was any mites left. And you only have to do this for a few minutes. This doesn't have to be an all-day process.
Oh! Aww, you took her out a second too early.
I did mention that she might defecate in the bath. I wasn't expecting her to defecate on my foot immediately after the bath. So the last video we talked about the one way that I like to use to get rid of mites, and that's with just a permethrin type base material such as Nix. Nix is what we used for several occasions. I used it twice before the video that we posted a few weeks ago. And then we use the F10 and the water solutions, just the 3 spray bottle solution, I guess. I don't know. But what you could do also, because there are certain species such as hognose snakes that are very susceptible to poisoning from permethrin. I'll say that word right eventually. And I think that with these guys, you don't want to risk using something like Nix or like Preventamite, which is something we're going to talk about next, which I've started to use as well because I could finally find some here in Canada. What you can do also is Dawn dish soap. So take your container, just an empty container, Dawn dish soap, scrub it out, let it sit for a bit. It will kill all of the mites. And then take a little bit of Dawn dish soap with your animal, like your hognose snake, and just kind of bathe, not bathe it, but get it all over the animal, kind of saturate the animal. This is something that I learned in a hognose group who skewered me in the comments section on my last video. And it makes sense because I kind of presented it like it was good for all snakes. I was talking about ball pythons, but it is true. With each individual snake, you want to do your research and make sure that you know, can this work? Is this going to kill my snake? Does my snake or lizard have some sort of susceptibility to poisoning from a certain chemical? So with that said, if you don't have an animal like that, like a hognose snake, which may become very ill or die if you use the method that I used before without really rinsing it out. Now, I should mention that too. If you rinse out the container with the water, like I would directed in the video, you should be okay no matter what animal it is. But Preventamite is also a great solution. Here in Canada, it's pretty expensive. It's like 50 bucks a can if you can find it, and I mean, it's really difficult to find. But I would suggest following the directions on the can. I'm not even going to try to explain them because I will get torn apart if I mispronounce a word. This stuff is very dangerous. If you don't use it correctly, it's going to kill all the feeders in the room. If you use it outside, it might kill flies flying in the air. Use it in a ventilated area and follow the can directions 100%. I use this for my second treatment rather than using the 3 spray bottle method because you have to do that several times a week, where with this, you do it once and then you basically forget about it for a little while and then you come back and do it again halfway through the cycle. But again, follow the instructions on the back of the can. You're good to go. So there you go. There's a few options on how to get rid of mites, and just kind of an update from a few weeks ago when we treated in the first place to see how that treatment took. And it obviously took great. As you can see here, the mites, there's none, right? You look on the paper towel, the white paper towel, you see if there's any black dots, and if there are, you inspect to see what they are. Even if there are dead mites, I suggest trying the process over again, leave it for a day or two, just because you don't want to introduce anything at all. So let's suppose that a few eggs got missed and they might hatch, right? Like for whatever reason, just a fluke, a freak accident where it didn't kill all the eggs as well. You don't want to take that risk because now you're infecting your entire collection. Better safe than sorry. So mine are both good, so let's go ahead and put them back into their enclosures. For now, they're just going to go into these tubs, 41 quart tubs, and then I've got their hides and their water bowls ready to be washed out. So we'll put those in there, fill up the water bowl. And as I accumulate more PVC enclosures, they're going to have their own display enclosures as well. And we're going to be able to get all of the adult snakes out of this rack. But for now, this is their home, and that's how you do it. So if there's anything you want to add, if there's something I forgot, if you think that there's another way that I didn't know about or I didn't present to you how to do it, put it in the comment section below. And then what should next week's video be about? I love taking these topics from the comment section. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. But because we do videos every week, twice a week, that means that I'll see you on Monday.